Hi, good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to another one of my morning mantras. As you can make out, perhaps from the dust in the air and from the light missing, the sunlight kind of missing, we are middle of pollution stroke winter season here in Delhi. So definitely in the era of pollution right now. But listen, more importantly, I think we're also, very firmly in the era of agentic today, right? How fast the world of AI has moved, that non-agentic AI is now known as classic AI. And of course, there is a whole push in various kind of entities, individuals, professionals, companies, societies, yeah, on what is called agentic AI, right? So I'm going to just share some of my learning up till now. Really, I see this in four things, if I may share. So what's an agent for me? This is the first four things I think an agent is. One is, of course, the agent understands English, right? Which is quite amazing, right? Imagine, during my time in college, we wrote code in, Fortran, COBOL, that kind of tells you my age, right? And then C++ and something called, in REC Trichy, I used to code in terminal and stay resident programs, right? Which are in-memory programs, right? But this was all C language. Now, when I see the young generation with agentic understands English, right? So, one is ability of an agent to converse and understand the context in English. So that's one. Two is an agent is someone who then looks at what their objectives is and is able to plan, break down the tasks into various different activities, or break down the work into different activities. So planning and rationale are perhaps the second attribute from my perspective of an agent. Then, the most important bit, which was missing in generative AI, is the ability to act, right? So, we provide agent a whole repertoire of tools, right? And the agent then chooses the right tool, right? So it's unlike in the previous times when the programming was deterministic, where you would give a subroutine a set of APIs and you would tell it what to use for what condition. In case of an agent, it invokes action on its own, right? It does rational, it knows what it wants, and then goes and invokes. So action. And then, of course, the last and again very important is this continuous feedback loop, right? So for me, an agent, the four things: understands natural language, is able to break down its goal into a set of activities, plan them, rational, then call actions using tools, conduct actions, which is the amazing bit we are in, and then of course learn, right? Which is an agent today is much more intelligent than the agent yesterday because it's learned, right? The whole learning and feedback mechanism. So that's what, for me, these are the four things that an agent is. Now, in an enterprise context, what are the four things we should think about when we think about agents, right? Sometimes people just jump to agents and forget that a large enterprise or any enterprise has already a lot of automation. So my view is, first check, is there a level of automation? Fine, leave it like this, improve it, whatever, but that's not, you don't want to replicate that with agentic. Then, of course, in some cases, above the automation for that business process, you've already implemented RPA. So that's fine, let it run. I wouldn't disturb that because those are probably done for deterministic purposes. Then, of course, above that, despite automation and RPA, there are a lot of humans doing work, right? Busy with some stuff, right? So that's where perhaps the agentic layer comes in, saying, how would you, automate that part and then leave humans to do a bit more higher level work. And then for me, the fourth kind of floor there is that for the humans that are left then to do the higher level work, you leave them with agentic AI, right? So that they, like a co-pilot or a co-coach or, a friend, a buddy who can help them, as they conduct their work, right? So then, so just think about, automation, leave it, RPA, then anything other than that, deploy for a business process, deploy agencies and agent networks or swarm of agents. And then above that, you'll have humans doing, let's say, in case of CX, exception management. And then, you kind of enable them or power them, right, or superpower them with generative AI. So that's one, the second force stack that I think of when I look at enterprises. Then perhaps, if you look at agent frameworks, again, I think of these four things, right? So for example, the first and most important arena that agent swarms need or agents need is data, right? Enterprise data. Perhaps the most difficult part of an enterprise is that data. So hopefully, you've done some work, you've collated some data. So that's data. And with MCP, protocols, this is becoming much more easier, right? To connect up your systems of record to an agentic kind of framework or toolbox, right? Then once you've got the data, the most important bit is knowledge, right? How do you convert, or store for the purpose of agents? How do you assimilate, curate, feed knowledge to agents? In my view, there are perhaps a dedicated, mantra for that, but there are three broad architectural archetypes. One is, of course, what we have been using: prompts, RAGs, maybe even knowledge graphs, right? So semantical information, all of that is like level one. Then level two of knowledge is, of course, fine tuning. You would have heard of, parameter tuned or parameter efficient fine tuning, LoRa, some of these mechanisms to fine tune, take a few weights of the neural network and change them, so you get a very specific kind of knowledge adapter for a particular domain. And then, of course, the big daddy, if you want to do it, is kind of domain language models, right, where you actually train the entire model on domains, which I don't think is very efficient, and it's very expensive to do for enterprise. But anyway, knowledge layer with these three possibilities, and you're going to take a decision on which one. Then, of course, agentic workflows or orchestration of agents, right, for specific enterprise needs. And then, of course, above that are agents, right? And then, of course, again, finally, if above this framework, these four layers, if you have, humans, then they should be powered with generative AI capabilities, maybe in a chat kind of, or voice or chat interface, right? So again, when you look at agentic frameworks, quite coincidentally, there are these four things: data, knowledge, agent workflows, agent orchestration, and then agents, right? So I think, fascinating that we talk like this, that the agent thinks, the agent is able to take decisions, the agent is given a repertoire of tools, but hey, that's the world we live in, right? And hence you see things like agentic coding, which is amazing, with Cursor being one of the fastest growing company ever on earth, right? So it's not by chance that that's happening. And then, of course, you have the possibility of running enterprises autonomously, right? And a lot of people are right now looking at it. Horizontal platforms, vertical platforms. We continue to live in interesting times, right? So I just wanted to, as a new kind of dawn of new season here in Gurgaon, near Delhi, I wanted to share what I think is the dawn of a new era with agentic, which is very interesting to watch. The story is yet to be written, but I hope you've learned a bit, and I would love to hear your views on these four things: what an agent is, the four things that I spoke about, the four aspects that you have to look at in an enterprise, and then the four layers of an agentic framework or platform, right? But that's all I had to share, guys, right? As I gear up to go to office. Have a great day, everyone, and thank you so much for listening to this. Cheerio, bye.